Have you ever wondered what it's like to stand on the edge of the world's most perilous places, where every step is a dance with danger? Today, I invite you to join me on a journey that's as captivating as it is unsettling. We'll dive headfirst into environments so hostile, they defy belief, where the air itself is a threat, the ground is poisoned, and the inhabitants, whether human or otherwise, are fiercely protective of their domain. It's a trip that will take us from radioactive wastelands to volcanic infernos, from secretive tribes to rivers so toxic they're infamous worldwide. Wandering the most dangerous streets on Earth, get ready for a shocking journey through the world's most perilous places. Let's get it on. With boots caked in mud and a camera rolling, we'll explore what draws people to these places, how they survive, and what compels some of us to stare into the abyss. So, buckle up and keep your wits about you. There's no telling what we'll encounter in the shadows of abandoned cities, atop treacherous peaks, and along rivers that seem to breathe their own toxic life. This is not a tour for the faint of heart, but if you're ready to see the world's edge, both its beauty and its brutality, you're in exactly the right place. There's a particular stillness in Pripyat, Ukraine, that you won't find anywhere else. Once a thriving city built for workers of the Chernobyl nuclear plant, it now sits frozen in time, abandoned after the world's worst nuclear disaster. Walking its silent streets, you feel the ghosts of a past life. Playgrounds overtaken by weeds, apartment blocks crumbling, and personal belongings left behind as their owners fled in panic. The air carries a strange, metallic tang, a constant reminder that radiation still lingers, invisible but deadly. Even decades later, Geiger counters tick with a nervous energy, warning visitors that danger is everywhere, hiding in the dust and soil. It's not just about history. Pripyat is a living laboratory, a place where nature has slowly reclaimed what man abandoned. Yet the threat beneath remains ever present. Inside the city's buildings, there's a sense of eerie preservation. School books lie open on desks, gas masks scattered across floors, all testament to the suddenness of the evacuation. It's almost as if time stopped at the precise moment of disaster, with the city in a perpetual state of anticipation, waiting for residents who will never return. Yet despite the risks, Pripyat has become a magnet for curious adventurers, scientists, and even thrill-seekers. They come to witness firsthand the effects of unchecked catastrophe and to confront the uneasy reality that, here, the very ground you walk on could be laced with danger. But there's also resilience in the air. Wild animals have moved in, creating a new ecosystem amid the ruins. Wolves, wild horses, and birds thrive, seemingly indifferent to radioactive risks that would terrify any human visitor. It's a strange kind of balance, life persisting where it shouldn't. As night falls, the city becomes even more forbidding. Dark silhouettes loom in the twilight, and every creak and groan of decaying buildings reminds you that this place is both a monument and a warning, one that still pulses with unseen peril. From afar, the Citarum River in Indonesia snakes its way through lush countryside. But up close, it's anything but idyllic. Widely regarded as the dirtiest river on Earth, its surface is choked with a floating tapestry of plastic, chemicals, and discarded waste. The water, once a lifeline for millions, is now a toxic brew that stains everything it touches. The statistics are staggering. Over 60% of all household and industrial waste from the region ends up here. Factories discharge untreated chemicals day and night, turning the river into a conveyor belt of pollution. For locals, the river is both a curse and a necessity. They fish, bathe, and even drink from it, because for many, there's simply no alternative. Every dip of a hand in the water is a gamble. Skin diseases, respiratory problems, and stomach ailments are common. Children splash and play in a river that could kill them, their laughter at odds with the grim reality. For some families, scavenging through the debris is a means of survival. They collect plastic bottles and scrap metal to sell, risking their health for a few coins. Environmental groups have sounded the alarm for years, but progress is slow. Cleanup projects exist, but the sheer scale of pollution seems overwhelming. The river's toxic load seeps into crops irrigated with its water, embedding itself in the very food chain. Yet, amid the squalor, there's resilience. Grassroots efforts and determined locals are fighting back, organizing river cleanups and campaigning for stricter regulations. It's a David and Goliath struggle. One river, millions of lives, and a mountain of waste. Standing on its banks, you can't help but wonder how much longer the Citarum can endure. The river's plight is a stark reminder that environmental catastrophe doesn't always look like a sudden disaster. Sometimes, it's a slow-motion tragedy unfolding before our eyes. North Sentinel Island, lying in the Bay of Bengal, is a place shrouded in mystery and danger. Here, the Sentinelese tribe has lived in almost complete isolation for thousands of years, fiercely rejecting all contact with the outside world. Their hostility isn't born of malice, but of survival, a defense against diseases and outsiders that could devastate their way of life. Attempts to approach the island are met with arrows and spears. Even helicopters flying overhead are driven away by the tribe's warning shots. The Indian government has declared the island off-limits, enforcing a strict exclusion zone to protect both the Sentinelese and any would-be visitors. The allure of the unknown is strong. Anthropologists, adventurers, and missionaries have all tried to make contact. Most have failed, and a few have paid with their lives. The tribe's language, culture, and daily life remain almost entirely undocumented, adding to the island's enigmatic reputation. What we do know is that the Sentinelese are among the world's last uncontacted peoples, living as their ancestors did, untouched by modern technology or conveniences. Their isolation has preserved their traditions, but it's also put them at grave risk from diseases for which they have no immunity. For outsiders, the island is a forbidden paradise, stunning beaches, dense jungle, and an unbroken line between past and present. But the cost of curiosity here is high. The Sentinelese's aggressive defense of their territory is not just self-preservation, but a testament to the enduring power of autonomy. Standing at the edge of their world, looking across the water, you feel a potent mix of respect, fear, and fascination. North Sentinel Island remains a place where the modern world is kept firmly at bay, a living reminder of how much we have yet to understand about our planet and its peoples. Lahore, Pakistan's cultural heart, pulses with energy and history. But you know, beneath the city's vibrant surface lies a silent menace. Air pollution so severe, it sometimes blots out the sun. On certain days, Lahore's air quality index rivals, or even surpasses, that of the world's most polluted cities. Smog hangs thick in the air, a toxic cocktail of vehicle emissions, industrial fumes, and burning crop residue from nearby fields. The effects are immediate and inescapable. Burning eyes, scratchy throats, and a constant cough that never seems to go away. For those with asthma or heart conditions, the city can be a daily battlefield. Residents have adapted in small ways, wearing masks, installing air purifiers, and staying indoors when the haze is at its worst. But for many, life must go on regardless. School children walk to class through a murky fog. Rickshaw drivers weave their way through traffic, with scarves wrapped tightly around their faces. Doctors warn of rising rates of respiratory disease, especially among the young and elderly. Hospitals are often overwhelmed during the smog season, treating everything from asthma attacks to chronic bronchitis. For some, the simple act of breathing has become a struggle. Yet, there's a determination to endure. Lahore citizens are fiercely proud of their city and its rich legacy. Activists and youth groups are pushing for cleaner air, planting trees, lobbying for stricter emission standards, and educating the public on the health risks of pollution. Despite the daily challenges, a sense of hope persists. Lahore's story is not just one of struggle, but of resilience and a collective will to reclaim the city's blue skies. Here, danger is invisible, but its impact is felt with every breath. Mount Sinabung in North Sumatra, Indonesia, looms over the landscape like a sleeping giant, and it's a giant that wakes often. After centuries of dormancy, Sinabung sprang to life in 2010, unleashing a series of violent eruptions that have continued sporadically ever since. For those living in its shadow, life is a constant game of chance. Entire villages have been evacuated, their homes abandoned to falling ash and rivers of lava. The threat is ever present. Clouds of hot gas and debris can sweep down the slopes with little warning, turning fertile fields into wastelands. For many, returning home means living with the knowledge that disaster could strike at any moment. Despite the dangers, some families refuse to leave. Their connection to the land is deep. This is where their ancestors are buried, where their crops grow, and where their memories live. They build new homes on safer ground, only to return to tend their fields, always keeping one eye on the smoking summit. Sinabung's eruptions have displaced thousands, forcing communities into temporary shelters. Schools, markets, and mosques stand empty, dusted with volcanic ash. The local economy suffers as crops fail and livestock perish. But in the face of adversity, the people display remarkable resourcefulness and solidarity. Aid agencies and government teams monitor the volcano around the clock, issuing warnings and organizing evacuations. Yet, in the end, nature is in charge. Sinabung's moods are unpredictable, its timetable unknowable. For the people of North Sumatra, the volcano is both a blessing and a curse. Its fertile soils support agriculture, but its temper reminds everyone just how tenuous life here can be. Mount Sinabung is a stark reminder that, in some places, living with danger is simply a way of life. The Amazon River, winding its way through South America, is a place of superlatives. The largest, the longest, the wildest. Its waters pulse with life and danger in equal measure. For adventurers, the Amazon is a siren call, offering both breathtaking beauty and peril at every turn. Beneath its surface, the river teems with creatures that can kill. Aquatic predators like piranhas, electric eels, and the mysterious kandiru fish. Jaguars prowl the dense jungles along its banks, while venomous snakes and giant insects lurk in the undergrowth. Here, nature is both creator and destroyer. But the dangers aren't just from wildlife. The river's currents are unpredictable, capable of sweeping away even the most experienced boatmen. Sudden storms can turn calm waters into raging torrents. For indigenous communities, the Amazon is home, but survival demands a deep knowledge of its moods. Deforestation and illegal mining add a human threat, polluting the water with mercury and driving out wildlife. The struggle to preserve the rainforest and its inhabitants is ongoing, a battle fought by activists, scientists, and local tribes. Despite these challenges, the Amazon remains a place of wonder. The sheer biodiversity is staggering. Thousands of species, many still undiscovered, thrive in its tangled forests and murky waters. For those willing to brave its dangers, the rewards are immense, a glimpse into a world that remains largely untamed. To journey down the Amazon is to embrace uncertainty. Here, danger and beauty are inseparable, and every expedition is a test of ingenuity, courage, and respect for forces far greater than ourselves. The Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is, quite literally, one of the most inhospitable places on the planet. Temperatures here regularly soar above 50 degrees Celsius, and the landscape is a surreal vision of sulfurous springs, acid pools, and salt flats that stretch to the horizon. It is a place where life clings on by the thinnest of threads. The air shimmers with heat, and the ground is often too hot to touch. Toxic gases waft from volcanic vents, coloring the earth in shades of neon green, yellow, and orange. For explorers, the environment is as dangerous as it is otherworldly. A misstep here could mean a fall into boiling acid or a lungful of suffocating fumes. Despite its harshness, the Danakil is home to the Afar people, who mine salt from its crusty plains, braving the elements in a daily struggle for survival. Their caravans, laden with salt blocks, are a timeless sight against the alien backdrop. Scientists are drawn to the Danakil, studying its resemblance to other planets and its extreme microbial life. The area is a natural laboratory, offering clues to the origins of life and the limits of human endurance. But make no mistake, the Danakil demands respect. Dehydration, heat stroke, and poisonous air are constant threats. Even experienced guides tread carefully here, knowing that nature's wrath can be swift and unforgiving. Standing in the heart of the depression, it's easy to feel small and outmatched. The Danakil is a place where the earth bares its teeth, a vivid reminder of the planet's raw power and our own fragile place within it. Mount Everest, straddling the border between Nepal and Tibet, is the world's highest peak and arguably its most dangerous. For generations, it has lured climbers with the promise of glory and the peril of the so-called death zone, where oxygen levels drop, weather turns deadly, and survival is never guaranteed. At base camp, there's a sense of camaraderie and anticipation. But as climbers ascend, the atmosphere grows thinner, and every step demands immense physical and mental strength. Frostbite, altitude sickness, and avalanches are constant threats. For many, the dream of standing on the summit comes at a tremendous cost. The mountain slopes are littered with reminders of past tragedies, discarded gear, frozen bodies, and tattered prayer flags fluttering in the wind. Rescue is often impossible above certain altitudes. Here, climbers are on their own, relying on experience, luck, and the will to keep moving forward. Despite the risks, the allure of Everest remains undiminished. Each year, hundreds attempt the climb, driven by ambitions both noble and reckless. The mountain is a crucible, revealing the best and worst of human nature, cooperation in the face of adversity, but also the perils of hubris and greed. Local Sherpas, whose livelihoods depend on guiding climbers, face the mountain's dangers repeatedly. Their courage and expertise are the backbone of every successful expedition. For them, Everest is both a source of pride and a daily reminder of peril. Standing atop the world, for those who make it, is a moment of transcendence, brief, breathtaking, and fraught with risk. Everest is not just a mountain, it's a mirror reflecting our deepest desires and our willingness to risk everything for a taste of the extraordinary. As our journey comes to an end, I'm left with a profound sense of awe and a lingering unease. The world's most dangerous places are not just backdrops for thrill seekers or cautionary tales for the faint-hearted. They are living, breathing reminders of the delicate balance we all inhabit, and the resilience required to survive where danger is never far away. Wandering these perilous paths, I've met people whose lives are shaped by adversity, yet who find ways to endure and adapt. Whether it's the spectral silence of Pripyat, the choked banks of the Sitaram, or the icy heights of Everest, each place reveals stories of struggle, hope, and defiance. The dangers are real, but so too is the unyielding spirit of those who call these places home. So, as you return to the safety of your own world, remember the lessons from these edges of existence. Sometimes, it's only by confronting danger that we truly understand our own limits and our capacity for wonder. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop exploring.